Okay, so for this deep dive, we've got something pretty different. It's a manual, The Secrets to Gaining Muscle Mass Fast by Anthony Ellis, published by Cutting Edge Publishing. And the format really jumped out at me, this three-wing binder.
Yeah, it's definitely meant to be more than just something you read once and put away. You can actually write notes right in it. There's space in the margins. And it even comes with a folder. Like you could take pages to the gym with you. Seems like he really wants you to use this thing.
Oh, absolutely. He's big on making sure you've done your homework before you even start lifting. Says you got to read the whole thing, understand it before touching weights. Plus, there are FAQs, like a ton of them, in the binder and online. Says they'll answer almost any question you could have.
And if those don't cover it, he even gives his email, member@musclegaintips.com, asks you to put your order number in the subject line, claims he'll answer in a few hours. That's pretty hands-on. You don't see that too often.
For sure. Of course, there's the usual disclaimer stuff about warranties and liability. Like any fitness guide, gotta have that. But the heart of it, what Ellis is selling, is his own transformation. He was, in his words, a skinny guy who got himself up to 180 pounds.
And his whole idea, what this whole manual's built on, is that you can gain muscle fast if you get three things right: your diet, your workouts, and the right supplements. Claims his 12-week change is proof this combo works.
So what we're going to do in this deep dive, we're going to unpack this whole manual for you. We'll go through his weight training principles, the specific exercises, his diet plan, all the supplements. It's your cheat sheet, basically, to understanding how Anthony Ellis says you pack on muscle. Hopefully some useful stuff in here for you. Let's start with the basics, the terminology he uses.
Right off the bat, he talks about compound versus isolation exercises. Compounds, those are like your squats, deadlifts, bench presses. They use a bunch of big muscles all at once. And Ellis is all about these for getting big. They put more stress on your whole body, more bang for your buck, you could say.
So not just isolating one muscle, like a bicep curl. It's more like, I don't know, building a whole house instead of just one room. More workers involved, bigger result.
Exactly. Then there's metabolism, which he says is basically how fast you burn calories. A fast one makes it hard to gain weight, muscle, or fat. A slow one makes it easier. Makes sense.
And he even talks about things you can do to affect your metabolism, like eating more often, moderate cardio, having more muscle, eating more protein. Those might speed it up.
And then the opposite. Things that slow it down. Eating randomly, having more body fat, not moving much, super low-calorie diets, long cardio sessions, stuff like that.
And he defines aerobic exercise pretty simply, anything that makes you breathe hard and use more oxygen for a while. Running's his example there. Now let's get into the actual exercises he recommends.
He does say this list isn't everything, but it's the core stuff, the important ones. And some he marks with a star, says those are very important for mass.
Right, right. So starting with legs, which he's super big on, says you can't get big overall without big legs. First up, start exercise, the squat. Now, some people are scared of squats, but Ellis insists they're safe if you do them right. Wants you to use a power rack or cage, explains how to set the safety bars and everything.
Yeah, technique is huge with squats. Feet a bit wider than shoulder width, toes pointed out a little. When you go down, knees tracking over your toes. You'll lean forward naturally. He's very specific about keeping your chest up, back slightly arched, like you're sitting back in a chair. No hunching over, no looking down.
Got it. Next leg exercise also starred, the deadlift. Again, very specific instructions. Feet narrower than shoulders this time, shins close to the bar, overhand grip. He's adamant that the power comes from your legs, not your arms.
Yep, your arms are just holding the bar, shoulders back, chest out, head forward, back slightly arched as you lift. Bar stays close to you. Now you straighten your knees and hips at the same time. Pause at the top, don't overarch, then lower slowly, no dropping it.
Noted. Then he goes into some isolation exercises for legs. Leg extensions, he says those come after your compound lifts. Pads should be on your lower shins, and you really squeeze your quads at the top.
Right, and then the hamstring curl, also after compounds. Slight arch in your back, curl as high as you can, lower slow, squeeze at the top, can do it lying down or standing up.
Gotcha. He also mentions the leg press, but says he mostly uses that during low-intensity phases. Doesn't think it's a real strength test compared to squats. But be careful not to go too low and round your back on it. Last one for legs, calf raises. Here, it's all about the full range of motion. Stretch all the way at the bottom, raise all the way at the top, and absolutely no bouncing.
Right, got to feel that burn. Shifty to chest exercises now. Starred exercise, the bench press. Lower the bar control to your mid-chest. Slight arch in the back's okay, just don't lift your butt. And a spotter is highly recommended, especially with heavy weight. He also points out grip width changes what muscles you hit more. Narrower hits triceps, wider hits chest.
Interesting. Then he's got the flat dumbbell press. Works the same main muscles as barbell bench, but he likes it for building those smaller, stabilizing muscles. Technique's similar, but with dumbbells, you can drop them if you can't lift anymore. No spotter needed.
Safer that way, yeah. Then there's the incline bench press, again hitting chest, triceps, front shoulders, but on an angle. Lower the bar to just below your collarbone. He says keep that incline not too steep, under 30 degrees, so it's more chest than shoulders. Gables can be good here too.
Makes sense. Last starred chest exercise he details is the pullover. This one's a bit more specific. You lie sideways on the bench, just your shoulder blades touching. Feet flat, hold a dumbbell with both hands. Lift it straight up, then lower it slow in an arc behind your head. Let your hips drop a little to keep balance, arms straight. No rounding your back, no looking down. Should feel a stretch in your lats at the bottom.
Sounds like a good one. All right, moving on to shoulders. Seated dumbbell press. This hits the front and side delts mainly. You're sitting on a bench, back at 90 degrees, weights at shoulder height, palms forward, press straight up, almost locking out, lower controlled, no shrugging. Then another starred one, shrugs. This is all traps. Dumbbells or barbell, you just lift your shoulders straight up like you're shrugging, then lower slowly. Really try to bring their shoulders to your ears.
Got it. Then for biceps and forearms, we've got easy bar reverse curls. These hit biceps, brachialis, that's under the bicep, and forearms. Elbows at your sides, lift slow till you feel that bicep squeeze, lower slow.
Classic. And then dumbbell curls, seated or standing, doesn't matter. Focus on using your bicep to lift, not swinging. Controlled motion, you can alternate arms. Slow and controlled, no momentum. Squeeze at the top. Hammer curls work too.
Right. Similar but different than incline dumbbell curls. Same idea, but you're lying back on an incline bench. This one's harder, so lighter weight. Really focus on the stretch at the bottom. Last one here, the forearm curl. Light barbell, close grip. Forearms on the bench, wrists and hands hanging off. Curl the weight up with just your wrists and forearms. Lower slow for that full stretch. No specific tricep exercises detailed in this part, but I'm sure there's more elsewhere.
Probably, yeah. He does cover abs and stretching, though. Crunches first for upper abs. Lie flat, knees bent, feet flat, or you can put your lower legs on a bench. Hands behind head or cross on your chest. Curl your upper body forward, rib cage to pelvis. Lower body stays still. Just lift a few inches to really squeeze those abs. Exhale up, inhale down. Don't sit all the way up.
Got it. Then reverse crunches for lower abs. You're on an incline bench. Hold the top for support. Bring your pelvis up towards your rib cage using your lower abs. Exhale up, inhale down. Controlled. No swinging or sliding down the bench. He also mentions incline twisting sit-ups. Those work upper abs and obliques. You do those on a Roman chair or an incline board.
Right.
Lean back for tension, then crunch forward and twist to one side.
Lots of ab variations. Lastly, stretching. He talks about light stretches. Those are before and after your workouts for all kinds of muscles. And then heavy stretches, these you do during the workout, right after a set when the muscle's still pumped. Chest stretches holding the bottom of an incline dumbbell fly. Shoulders, you just relax and let them sink. Back, round your shoulders, flare your lats, stretch forward with heavy weight. Quads, hold the bottom of the leg extension, seat back, pad low. Point is to get that deeper stretch the second time, hold it 20-30 seconds, breathe deep, relax more when you exhale, never bounce or force anything. Okay, now we're getting into his mass training principles, the good stuff.
All right, time for the real meat of the program. So what's Ellis's philosophy here?
First principle, heavy weights. And he means heavy, something you can only do 4 to 7 reps with good form. His thinking is, this kind of weight stresses the muscle fibers way more than lighter weights for more reps. So it's not just about moving weight, it's about making those muscles work hard for those few reps.
So basically, quality over quantity.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's this idea of training to failure, which a lot of people preach. Pushing every set till you literally can't do another rep. But Ellis, from his experience, he doesn't think it's essential every single time.
Interesting. So you don't have to max out on every set.
He thinks just consistently putting your muscles under more stress than they're used to is more important.
Yeah.
He does go to failure sometimes, but not always. Especially training alone, which he often does. Going to failure can be risky without a spotter. Plus, your body's smart, it gets used to anything eventually, so changing things up is key, which is his next point. But yeah, beginners, they'll see growth almost no matter what if they're consistent.
That makes sense. So changing your workouts, why is that so crucial?
He says if you keep doing the same exercises, same weight, eventually you hit a plateau. You stop getting bigger and stronger. To break through that, got to change things up. The exercises, the speed of your reps, like pausing at the top or bottom, how long you rest, how many reps and sets you do, even the order you do exercises. Cycle it all, keep your body guessing. Basically, you got to keep throwing it curveballs.
Keep it on its toes. I like it. So what about this overtraining thing he talks about?
He's big on not being stupid. Don't push too hard. You'll burn out, get hurt. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency is key. He gives signs you might be overtraining, like getting sick a lot, not wanting to train, muscle spasms even when you're resting, losing weight for no reason, strength not going up, injuries that keep coming back, especially shoulders, wrists, back. Point is, you're trying to look good, not just lift the most weight. So max 3 exercises per body part, stick to a good schedule, don't go crazy.
Pace yourself.
Yeah.
So what about soreness? Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
He's clear on this one. Never work a muscle that's still sore, means it hasn't recovered. Working it out sore just breaks it down more. How long it takes to recover depends. Everyone's different. For him, if he really pushes it, it can be 3 to 5 days of soreness. So rest up when you need to.
Rest is when you actually grow, right?
Exactly. He also talks about tracking progress, which is important. He likes using calipers to measure body fat and a tape measure for your chest, arms, legs, all that. Says scale weight can be misleading because you might gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. So those other measurements give you a better idea of what's happening.
Makes sense. Got to know where you're at. And then he's got this whole thing about working legs, which I'm sure you'll appreciate.
Oh, absolutely. Leg day is non-negotiable. He's all about it. Says those are your biggest, strongest muscles. You want overall mass, you got to work legs. And it actually stresses your whole skeleton, which can help you grow everywhere. Plus, skipping legs, that's how you end up looking disproportionate.
Chicken legs, nobody wants that.
Nope. Full potential means training legs. No way around it. And then he talks about training frequency and rest. His advice is to hit each body part once a week max. Rest is crucial. That's when you grow. Get as much as you can on non-training days. Naps are good too, he says. And change your routine every 6 to 8 weeks if you're new, every 3 to 4 weeks if you're experienced. Keep the body guessing.
So rest, routine changes, it's all connected. But wait, he also talks about cardio in this section, right? Isn't that kind of contradictory?
It's interesting, yeah. He actually recommends cardio for fat loss. He says do it in the morning before eating for 30-45 minutes, keeping your heart rate around 140 BPM.
Yeah.
His reasoning is this burns fat best. Higher intensity might be good for endurance, but could eat muscle, especially if you have a fast metabolism.
So low and slow for fat burning.
Right. And his logic is when you wake up, your glycogen stores are low. That's stored carbs. So your body uses fat for fuel. He likes the stationary bike for this. Plus, cardio boosts your metabolism for hours after. Best to do it on non-lifting days, or at least spaced far from your workouts. Don't do it right before or after lifting. You might lose muscle.
Got it. So cardio has its place even in a mass building program. But what about spot reduction? Can you target fat loss in specific areas?
He says absolutely not. You can't pick and choose where you lose fat. It comes off everywhere. And sadly, the places you want it gone from most are usually the last to go. So consistent diet is the only way to really lose fat overall. He also gives tips for adjusting your training if fat loss is your goal. Train max 3 times a week, each body part once, lighter weights, 10-15 reps, controlled tempo, short rest periods, 60-90 seconds. And then, of course, the diet, which he's got a lot to say about.
Right, the food. So what's his philosophy on dieting strategies and supplements for muscle gain?
He makes it clear, your diet is the most important thing for gaining weight, especially muscle. Basic idea is simple. Eat more calories than you burn. But he's quick to say not all calories are the same. Empty calories from junk food, they don't have the nutrients your muscles need. Got to focus on quality.
So it's not just about stuffing your face.
Nope, got to be smart about it. Then he breaks down the main nutrients. Protein first, obviously. He's adamant it's crucial for growth and repair. Aim for 1 gram per pound of body weight every day. Best sources are lean meats, chicken, turkey, beef, fish, eggs, low-fat dairy.
All the good stuff. So what about carbs?
Those are your fuel, he says, 4 calories per gram. He divides them into simple and complex. Simples are like refined sugar, white flour. They turn into glucose fast, low in fiber. Complexes are brown rice, oats, whole grains, veggies with fiber. They digest slower because of the fiber.
Yeah.
And then he breaks down complexes further. Starchy, like whole grains, beans, and fibrous veggies.
Carbs are complicated.
They can be, yeah. Then there's fat, which a lot of people are afraid of. But Ellis says, don't be. It's actually crucial for hormones, including testosterone, which is key for muscle growth. Low-fat diets can lower testosterone and make your body better at storing fat, ironically. Essential fats, he really emphasizes those. They have a direct link to more testosterone.
So fat is not the enemy as long as it's the right kind.
Exactly. He also talks about fiber, that stuff from plants your body can't digest, helps with digestion, gets rid of toxins. Not enough fiber Your food moves slow. Meat can rot in your colon. Not good. He says aim for 20-35 grams a day from veggies, whole grains, oats.
All good advice. What about how often you should eat?
He's big on eating more often, smaller meals. Says it helps your body absorb and use the nutrients better. He personally eats 6 times a day, every 3 hours, so there's always fuel for repair and growth, especially after workouts. Don't go more than 3 hours without food, except when sleeping, otherwise you're breaking down muscle. And plan your meals. It's crucial to stick to this.
6 meals a day, that takes dedication.
Yeah. It does, yeah. And then water. So important, he says. Keeps muscles hydrated, flushes out waste from protein breakdown. Aim for 0.66 times your body weight in ounces every day. Drink it throughout the day. Helps with vascularity, too. And your kidneys need water to get rid of that protein waste efficiently.
So stay hydrated. It's all connected.
Yep. So to sum up his mass dieting points, it's 6 meals a day, every 3 hours, 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat, and lots of water.
Got it. Now, what about all these supplements he talks about? Are they really necessary?
He admits the supplement industry is full of crap, lots of useless products and shady marketing. But he does think some can speed up your results and make things easier. They're not strictly necessary, he says, but they can make the program shorter and less strict on the diet side.
So shortcuts, basically.
Kinda, yeah. First one he mentions is meal replacement powder, MRP. He used Myoplex a lot, liked that it was a shake with all the right nutrients. Easy to replace meals with, especially to get enough protein, using whey protein mostly. There are lots of MRPs out there, so try different ones, find what you like.
Convenient, for sure. So what else is on his list?
Creatine monohydrate. This is a natural thing in your muscles, helps with energy. You get a little from red meat. That's on hormone or a drug. Tons of studies say it's safe. Helps build muscle, makes you stronger and last longer in workouts. Helps you recover faster. Now, some of the weight you gain at first is water, but it's water in the muscle cells, making them bigger and fuller, which actually helps build real muscle over time. He suggests loading up first, 5 grams 5 times a day for 6 days, then 5 grams a day after that.
Interesting. So it's not all just fake water weight.
Right. Then there's whey protein powder, pure protein, basically no carbs or fats. Use it to add protein to meals or just mix it with water. He also mentions having it before bed with Udo's choice oil. The fat in the oil slows down digestion, so your muscles get fuel all night.
Sounds smart. Any other essentials?
Essential fatty acids, EFAs. He specifically likes Udo's choice. It's a blend of different oils, 1 tablespoon 3 times a day. If you can't find that, high-leading flaxseed oil is good too.
Okay. Anything else?
L-glutamine. It's an amino acid that helps your body deal with stress from exercise, dieting, even being sick. Taking it can help prevent muscle breakdown, especially when you're sleeping or not eating much. Can also help with cell volumizing, boost your immune system, shorten recovery time, might even increase growth hormone.
So it's a multitasker.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which?
Then he briefly talks about prohormones. He mentions androdiol and norandrodiol, saying those convert to estrogen less than others. But overall, he doesn't really recommend them, especially for younger guys whose hormones are still developing naturally. If you do use them, he gives dosages and stuff, but warns about risks, says there aren't many long-term studies. And don't use them if you have high blood pressure, heart problems, or if you're taking meds for depression, appetite, or ulcers. Basically, be careful, do your research.
So proceed with caution on those. Now, what about vitamins? Does he think those are important?
Big time, yes. He says it's almost impossible to get all the nutrients you need from food alone. Modern food is processed, depleted, and we're putting our bodies through a lot with exercise. Look at how many people are overweight. That shows how hard it is to eat perfectly balanced. He eats a good diet and still takes vitamins.
So even if you eat clean, supplements are still necessary?
In his opinion, yeah. The essentials he recommends are a multivitamin without iron. Too much iron's bad unless you're anemic. And vitamin C. That's an antioxidant, helps muscles recover, helps repair connective tissue. He says at least 3 grams a day, spread out over the day.
Okay, so now we're getting into the fat loss part of his program. What about meal frequency for that?
This might surprise you, but he says keep it the same, 6 meals a day. Says this keeps your body in fat-burning mode. Eating randomly actually slows down your metabolism and makes you store more fat.
Interesting. So consistency is key, whether you're bulking or cutting.
Exactly. He then goes on this rant about the problem with most diets. Says it's not fat that makes you fat, it's too many simple carbs. Avoiding fat is a mistake. You need it for hormones. Americans are fat because they eat too many carbs, not enough protein.
So he's not on the low-fat bandwagon?
Nope. His approach to dieting for fat loss is all about controlling your blood sugar. Don't let it spike too fast, which happens when you eat carbs alone. That causes a big insulin rush. Insulin lowers blood sugar, but if there's too much, it gets stored as fat. So always combine protein with your carbs. It slows down the sugar absorption. Never eat carbs alone when you're trying to lose fat.
So protein is your blood sugar bodyguard.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
He also talks about this fat-burning hormone, glucagon, does the opposite of insulin. When insulin's high, glucagon's low. Glucagon tells your body to use stored fat for energy. To get more glucagon, you got to cut simple carbs, eat more protein, eat less often, maybe a little contradictory, but he might mean the timing, lift weights, and take supplements like chromium picolinate and vanadium sulfate.
Gotcha. So it's a multi-pronged approach to fat burning. So what specific foods does he recommend for fat loss?
For protein fats, he likes lean stuff like chicken breast, turkey breast, fish, whey and soy protein isolates, lean ground beef, nuts in moderation, and cooking oils.
Ah.
Avoid fatty cuts of beef, roast beef, ham, deli meats, duck, processed meats. Basically, stick to the lean and clean.
Lean and mean. And what about water during fat loss?
Drink tons of it, he says, especially before cardio. Distilled water is best because it has no sodium. Same goal as before, 0.66 times body weight in ounces every day. Helps with water retention.
Got it. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Now, what about meal timing for fat loss? Is that important?
He says make your post-workout meal the biggest, with more carbs and calories overall. Replenish those glycogen stores, help your muscles recover. Last meal of the day, protein and fat only, no carbs. This minimizes fat storage overnight when your metabolism's slower. Eat most of your carbs earlier in the day.
Okay, so strategic carb timing is key. Now, what about those fat loss supplements?
He stresses, these aren't magic bullets. You still got to diet and train properly. They just help boost your natural fat burning. First up, protein powder. He likes blends of soy and whey, like Supra with whey, or Myoplex Light, which is premixed. Soy has some fat-burning properties, and Myoplex Light has phosphates, which might help boost your metabolism. Then he gets into stimulants.
Uh-oh, this is where it gets controversial.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
He talks about ephedrine and mahuang, which is basically herbal ephedrine. He knows it's got some bad press, but his studies show it's safe at the right dose. Your body gets used to it fast, so cycle it 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Mahuang's less strong, but works too. He even gives a contact to buy it. Again, not endorsing, just reporting what's in the manual. Then there's the famous ephedrine caffeine aspirin stack.
Oh.
Very effective for burning fat, but powerful stuff. Not for people sensitive to stimulants or if you have certain health conditions.
Sounds intense. Anything else?
Lohimbe. This one blocks something called alpha-2 receptors in fat cells, which helps release stored fat. But lots of brands are crap. Look for standardized extract, at least 5 milligrams of yohimbine per dose. He likes one with the vitamin shop. It's got 8 milligrams. Up to 3 times a day is the dose. And then L-tyrosine. That's an amino acid that can make ephedrine work better. He personally cycles these. 2 weeks of ephedrine, caffeine, icresine, then 2 weeks of yohimbe. Only takes the ephedrine stack on cardio days, twice a day max, so you can sleep. No ephedrine or caffeine, 8-12 hours before bed. He also mentions creatine, which he uses, but says to stop it a couple weeks before a photo shoot if you want to look extra ripped.
So, cycling supplements, just like cycling workouts.
Exactly. He also likes NAC, which boosts glutathione, a powerful antioxidant. Important for keeping muscle when you're eating very few calories, and it helps keep glutamine levels up. He even gives a whole breakdown of fat loss supplement costs, lists all the basic ones he uses, how much you need for 2 weeks, and how much it costs. He even gives tips on where to buy cheap. Online's usually cheapest, 30–40% off retail. The Vitamin Shop is good too. They have sales, and their staff know their stuff. GNC, that's last resort.
Handy info. Now, what about this how to look ripped for a photo shoot section?
Oh yeah, that's very specific. It's a 4-week plan, assuming you've been on a low-fat diet for at least 2 weeks already. You cut out sugar, dairy, white flour to avoid bloating. Stop creatine and vanadium sulfate. Start tanning gradually. Do your last hard leg workout a week before the shoot. Then, a few days out, you actually lower carbs way down for a few days, do more cardio. Then you start drinking a ton of water, cut out salt completely. Take dandelion root, which is a diuretic. Then you load up on carbs again. It's all about manipulating your water and carbs to look super defined. The day before the shoot, very light workout, cut water back a bit, shave everything. Before bed, a weird concoction of red wine or Grand Marnier, glycerol and water. It's supposed to make your veins pop. Morning of, sip water if you need to. Small meal, mostly carbs a few hours before. Then more glycerol and wine, pump up with light weights and high reps, and you're ready.
Sounds complicated.
It is, yeah. Very detailed. But he also gives some general cooking tips. Use non-stick spray. Cook rice and chicken broth for flavor, low-fat sauces, lemon and herbs on veggies, cook potatoes with the skin for fiber. He even gives a marinade recipe.
Practical advice. What about eating out?
Choose things that match your diet, basically. Skinless chicken, grilled fish, plain baked potatoes, steamed veggies or rice, no oil, butter, sauces, balsamic vinegar, or bring your own dressing for salad. Watch out for hidden dairy and sugar. He even lists safe choices from different fast food places with the calories and macros. Like, you can have half a chicken teriyaki bowl from Jack in the Box, the other half is too many carbs. When grocery shopping, stick to your list, don't impulse buy. And when reading labels, don't just look at total fat, calculate the percentage of calories from fat.
So basically, become a label detective.
Yeah, gotta be savvy. He also gives lists of good and bad drinks, seasonings, sugar-free stuff, and he includes full-on recipes for things like black bean salsa, pico de gallo, mushroom chicken turkey, a lemon marinade, herb-crusted chicken turkey fish beef, rice and beans, garlic mashed potatoes, chili rice, all with nutritional info. He even talks about diet substitutions. You can swap most foods within the same group as long as the calories and macros are similar. Brown rice for a baked potato, different lean meats, stuff like that. But don't rely on just veggie protein if you want to get really big. And if you can't handle whey protein, soy isolate is good, like SUPRO. You can even make your own MRPs with soy and your favorite carbs.
So there's flexibility, you can customize it. Now, what about his actual workout program?
He starts by describing my original program. 2 warm-up sets, then 4 heavy sets, going up in weight and down in reps each set. Then a lighter set followed immediately by a superset to failure, no rest between. He often stops just short of failure, especially when training alone on exercises that need a spotter. That last superset is to really blast the muscle. He likes to add 5 pounds to each heavy set, or 2.5 for smaller muscles. And he adjusts the weight next workout based on how many reps he got this time. He also talks about changing things up. He gives an example of using German volume training, 10 sets of 10 reps with lighter weight, to break a plateau when his gains slowed down after about 5 weeks. And he gives specific examples of how he'd structure his workouts for bench press, calf raises, stuff like that.
Makes sense. So what about a schedule, like when to train, when to eat?
He includes sample schedules for both mass gain and fat loss. Shows you how he times his meals and supplements throughout the day, which days he trains, when he does cardio. He also gives detailed instructions on using the whole program. There are shopping lists for both phases, a specific fat loss schedule for weeks 11 and 12, and instructions on making your own mass gain schedule. You pick your workout days and times, then fill in your meals and supplements. There's even a body statistics sheet to track your weight measurements and skin fold measurements to calculate body fat percentage. He gives the formulas for men and women.
Wow, this guy leaves no stone unturned. So what's his new program all about?
This is his current approach, and it's basically cycling between 3 weeks of mass gain and 3 weeks of fat loss over and over. He got the idea from Muscle Media magazine, but tweaked it for people with fast metabolisms who want to gain muscle without getting fat. The mass phase is the same heavy lifting as before, but now he focuses more on getting a deep stretch during the reps and even in the rest periods. Stretching a pumped muscle can stretch the connective tissue, which might help it grow more. Vitamin C helps repair that tissue. And post-workout nutrition is crucial. Lots of good food to replenish and repair. Not as strict as the fat loss phase, but still no junk.
So it's a more balanced approach, I guess.
Yeah, you could say that. Then the fat loss phase, that's lighter weights, 10-15 reps, 1 warm-up, 3-4 working sets. And the diet is very strict, very low calorie and fat. He eats about 10 times his body weight in calories per day, 45% protein, 40% carbs, only 15% fat. Fat's lower because he eats more of it during the mass phase, and the protein and carbs go up to make up for it. He even cycles his calories day to day during fat loss, eating less on cardio days so his metabolism doesn't crash. And lots of protein helps build muscle when you're training hard.
So it's all about strategic cycling, both with food and training. Now, one thing I was wondering, is all that protein bad for you?
He addresses that. High protein can be hard on your kidneys because it creates uric acid. Your kidneys and liver work to get rid of it, so you pee more. That's a sign they're working harder. Drink lots of water to dilute it, prevent buildup. There are many long-term studies on high protein and